Hey, what's happening? Nick Martinez here, and I'm excited to start sharing with you some different tips and tricks that you can utilize to maximize lives on social media. For those of you that don't know my story, don't know me, I started doing this kind of stuff a couple of years ago, had a very small page. Before I knew it, I was doing lives on a daily basis. They started a little bit rough, they started a little bit scary, but they've grown into an amazing community, an amazing platform, an amazing ability to connect with a lot of people through this tool that we have, which is Facebook Live, Instagram Live, whatever social media live you are using. So today what I want to do is cover a few simple things that are going to help you just maximize and set yourself up for success. The first part of this video series is all about just making sure that you're in the right place. So we're going to cover three different things here. We're going to cover the camera position, we're going to cover your appearance and your environment. And what you're going to find is that just by nailing these things, now everybody will be able to hear what you're saying. They're going to be able to actually hear the words that are coming out of your mouth because they're not distracted by certain things that might be going on, and they're able to see you clearly. So let's start first with this camera position. So this is actually one of the most important things to have people stop on your live, right? If people are scrolling through their feed and they see you, if you're not shown in a good angle, believe it or not, people usually will keep scrolling. So here's what I mean. If you're holding your phone, and we're going to talk about different ways to utilize the phone and hold it, I'm talking about the angle here. If you're holding the phone down this direction, guess what people are looking at? They're looking at your chin, they're looking at maybe your double chin, they're looking up your nostril, maybe you got some boogers up there. It's not a great angle. So I'm looking down at my phone right now, and it's just, you'd have to be like this, and it doesn't create this great environment. So hold it up, and now all of a sudden people are looking straight at you. Now the best angle for most people is a few degrees or a few inches above looking down. Now the tilt down a little bit, all of a sudden they see your full face, it's a good view, and they're more likely to stop. So this piece is really, to me, it works well. Now when you're here, hold still. Don't try to wiggle, don't be moving all around because it gets them a little bit messed up. And you don't want to be going like this because you're going to be making them dizzy and they're going to want to throw up. They probably don't want to watch that. I do it every now and then, but if you're going to do it, know that you're doing it and have some fun with it and keep that camera up. Another big piece to camera positioning is the way that you hold it and what you hold it with, right? There's a lot of different tools to the trade here that you can invest in, and honestly, some of them aren't even that expensive. So the simplest way is just to get a pop socket for the back of your phone, and I'm telling you, these are life-changing. If anything, you get to play with them when you're bored, right? But here's what you can do. It's so much easier to hold. You have the ability to use your thumb, and you can get different angles. Whereas if you're trying to go like this, you're building a problem in your arm, and it just doesn't hold as well. So check that out. The least expensive, you can get it for like 12 bucks online, pop socket, amazing. Another one is a simple stand, like a simple desktop tripod or countertop tripod. Usually they come with the ability just to slide your phone in like that, and then I can sit here like this and start talking, and I can change my height, or I can put this on a higher counter, I can put it lower, I can really start to engage in it. So these are really great. The other thing that's nice is you can hold them like this as you're talking. They're really versatile. This is my favorite. You can find these for like 20 bucks or less on Amazon. Now, the next step is going to the next level here, getting a tripod. Tripods, obviously, you know what a tripod is, Google it, you can get them for 20, 30 bucks. If you do a lot of stuff where you're just talking in front of the camera, not a bad thing to have because it can go up kind of high. Honestly, I use this like once a month. It's not my go-to. This is my main go-to, as well as just holding the camera. There's some even more fun claw things that you can have that you can put on your microwave, you can put wherever. It gives you a nice angle and is pretty flexible. And then if you want to be a true pro, go grab one of these Osmo handles where it self-stabilizes, it's super stable. They're pretty amazing, especially if you're doing stuff where you're moving around a lot. Pretty incredible. Now, I'll be completely transparent and honest. 9 out of 10 times I'm either using this or I'm using this. So start there, and then if you want to go into some of the more fun gadgets, you're certainly welcome to, but just having one of these tools is going to make it so much easier for you to do a live. Another big piece of doing lives is just your posture and the way that you're either leaning to or not leaning to the camera. Because here's what happens. When you're leaning back, let's say you're sitting in a chair, and you're just chilling in this chair, right? Just lounged out. People, like, they get that sense of relax, but it's not a sense of like confidence, and it's projected in just this like low energy. That's how you're received, and usually what will happen is people just start scrolling again because they're thinking this person doesn't really have anything to say that like I'd be interested in. So if you're gonna sit in a chair, what you wanna do is sit up, get your back straight, and look into the camera. Have a little bit of a down angle like this. You can hold it just like this, or you put it on a tripod, or you even put it like on a chair. But the important thing is that you're looking into it. Now, if you're sitting at a table, it's all about leaning into the camera, right? Because if I just stand right here and I have this set in here, it's looking up at me. Whereas if I'm leaning in, I'm engaged. Like people can tell, like, boom, he's gonna tell me something. What is he gonna tell me? They wanna hear it. That's a big piece. So lean forward, lean in, look, like almost looking down at your camera is gonna allow you to be seen a little bit differently. Once you've got these things down, the next thing to focus on is just your environment. Like what's going on around you? Is it super noisy? You got kids running around? You know, sometimes that's part of what you're doing the live about, right? Sometimes that's just real life and people like authenticity. However, if it's so distracting that they can't actually hear what you're saying, or if they don't know what it is, they're trying to wonder what it is so they don't hear what you're saying. So if it's happening, acknowledge it and then flip the camera around and say, look at my crazy dogs or look at my crazy kids. A lot of times that gets people like, oh yeah, or if you're in a crowded place or you're at some sort of an event, like, yeah, that's good noise to have, but if you're just at home and you have like a fan that's in the background that's kind of annoying, that stuff detracts. The other thing is like what's going on around you right now. We're choosing angles that won't expose how messy our house is, right? I'm not showing you the kids' random stuff right here and all the artwork that my 4-year-old creates. Now, again, there might be a place for that in what you're doing. If there is, fantastic, and I often don't, like, it's just real life when you're living with Nick Martinez. But I do try to keep it to a minimal distraction so it doesn't just look like an absolute mess or disaster. People look at that, they're like, oh, this person doesn't have their life together. But if there's a little bit of craziness, like that's good because that's relatability, that's vulnerability, and that's what's gonna draw people into your lives. The next thing is just knowing your lighting, and this piece is important. If I'm doing a live right here, guess what's gonna happen? Well, you're seeing it right now. You can hardly see me. All you see is this crazy light coming in. But if I switch around, if I go this direction, all of a sudden I am lit up well. So during the day, this is fantastic, right? I always film away from the windows. I'm looking into the windows. This is key because if you're not well lit, people just, their eyes do not draw to it. Their eyes are, their brain's not saying, ooh, I wanna see this, because they can't see you. It's such a weird thing, but it is such reality. So sometimes you have to kind of move, and you're gonna see as I move and the camera angle changes, you're gonna notice how the lighting shifts, right? So just, you're gonna have to go like this sometimes to find the best light, and then boom, hold yourself there. And then if you're gonna move around, just try to play with it. Sometimes if you touch your screen, it will refocus in different places and you'll be able to light up your face a little bit more. But it's really just focusing on where are you in the house and how can you maximize it. Now, there are some different tools that you can purchase that will help you to actually like light yourself when the lighting isn't proper. So another piece of lighting is just the lights that you have in your house. Sometimes the lights are not good enough to light you up, and you can make it work just by getting like a table lamp and putting it here and then holding the camera this direction. It's gonna light your face. Another thing that you can use is what's called a diva light. This is something you can get and you can put it on your phone and it actually lights you up at night, right? You can talk like this. They're not bad. There's also cases that have lights around them you can get on Amazon for like 20 bucks. And there's even a bigger thing called a diva ring light. This one you can buy, there's a whole bunch of different variations, different price points, but it's super handy if you're really gonna get into doing Facebook Lives. Not necessary, I probably only use that once every couple of weeks. So it's definitely not something you have to invest in, but if you don't have great lighting in your house, If you're maybe in the basement apartment or something like that, you might want to consider it because it really does help and enhance, and it decreases shadows and makes things so much easier to see. Do you feel like you've gotten a little more confidence now about going live? Because now you can do these simple things, these simple tweaks that we've talked about, and people are going to see you the way that you're meant to be seen, right? As if they were with you. That's exactly what we want to do with the live. We want to bring people into our world, our life, and allow them to see what's going on and then share from that place. That's the beauty, that's the community of it. So, like, is your camera position correct? Are you holding it in the right spot? Like, are you down here looking up your nose? Or are you a little bit above? Is your appearance, are you leaning in? Like, are you confident in that, portraying a confident position? Your environment, know the lighting, know where you're at, know like how the camera is seeing you before you go live. That way people can see you in the appropriate light. So stay tuned for the next part of this series, because I'm telling you, we've just gone over some basics. These basics are gonna set you up for success. But what's to come next is going to help you with your content. It's going to help you with how people perceive you. It's going to help you with engagement, and you're not going to want to miss it. So I hope you have an amazing day. Hopefully you're able to apply these to your lives. Go live, share with me how you're doing, and I wish you the best in your social media adventure.